doing 2-minute speeches, so everyone's strapping. This one's going to be a bit longer, just FYI. So, to the Marbets. So Mrs. Marbet, brilliant. Someone had to. Honestly, today it's been amazing. It's been a really lovely ceremony. I could really feel the emotion with these two speaking to each other. I think everyone could agree that it was really sincere, amazing venue. Everything here has been amazing. It's been said before, but I'm sure she won't mind hearing it again. Nikki, you look absolutely stunning today. I honestly have to say that. It's really nice not to have to lie about that as well, because you kind of have to say that. But yeah, you do. And I think it's safe to say you are definitely the most beautiful girl in the room. Nick, you're a close second. So I know there's been a lot of thank yous thrown around already. Going to throw a couple more around. I just want to say thanks to Nick for the special effort today to not wear trainers for the occasion. I know that must have been hard for you, buddy, but you've done really well. And I'm still getting used to seeing Nick in a suit. Actually, I actually have to admit you really do put it off quite well. And you don't look quite as much like a ventriloquist dummy as I was fearing you might do. Maybe a bit more like Aladdin, but it's fine. You're looking great. So anyway, I'm Daggis, and I've known Nick for about seven years now. And I suppose this is the part where I'm supposed to tell you a whole load of wild, crazy stories from big drunken nights out over the years. But in my experience, those stories tend to happen after 10 o'clock, by which point Nick's normally tucked up at home in bed. So we're going to breeze right past that bit. Instead, I'm just going to tell you about the first time I ever actually met Nick. I really remember it really clearly. So I was just walking down the road in my hometown of Potter's Bar in Hertfordshire, and just sat in front of me, parked on the side of the road, right before my very eyes, I see an actual real-life DeLorean. A DeLorean, for anyone who doesn't know, and shame on you if you don't know what a DeLorean is and you're here, DeLorean is the car, the time machine, the time-travelling car from the Back to the Future movies, which, growing up as a kid, I absolutely loved. I was a big fan. I didn't even know that they were on the road in the UK. I didn't know how many there were around, but suddenly there's one right in front of me on the road there. And standing next to this DeLorean was what appeared to be a small bearded child. Confused me a little bit. I asked her, your parents around? So it's there, isn't it? What I actually said. And this is genuinely the first conversation I ever had with Nick. I said, is that a DeLorean? He goes, yeah, no, you are my hero. And I meant it. Really, in that moment, he was the coolest person I've ever met. I mean, it's gone downhill a little bit since then. He's a halfway high, but no. And it wasn't actually until several months later that maybe weeks, I'm not sure, but we met again in the gym. Surprise. I don't think either of us realised who the other one was at the time, but we got chatting and became friends, and after the years, we gradually started to bond over mutual love of the gym and wearing tight t-shirts and skipping leg day, 1980s movies, 1990s computer games, living with our parents until we're 30, that kind of thing. And we got really good friends over the years. And not a lot of people actually know this, but Nick actually went through a phase for a good couple of years, once I've known him for a while, where he started to turn into a bit of a bitter, twisted, cynical old man. And it was, and what I mean by that is that he was really Mr. Anti-relationships. It was very much like, no, single life for me, I don't want the hassle of a girlfriend, it's just, anyone who got into a relationship who just shut it down, but no, don't trust girls, it's just not worth it. And then suddenly, it was a surprise, to say the least, when Nick showed up on my doorstep one day out of the blue with this lovely lady right here, and it's like, hi there, this is Nikki, we're getting married. Okay. I had to hold back the urge to slap him for the hypocrisy of the whole situation, but instead I just decided to give them both a hug, which I'm quite happy I did. And evidently they must have met at the end of my road or something and got talking, and one thing led to another, and then I think they got engaged somewhere about the gender by driveway. Anyway, we've come a long way. There were definitely some skeptics at the beginning. A lot of people weren't really sure if this was the real deal, and believe it or not, one of my friends, who I won't name, actually bet me that this day would never happen. So Mark, who's paying me that 20 quid later. It wasn't Mark. Yeah, we've come up to this day today. So obviously I've known Nick a long time, and what can I tell you about Nick? Who is he? What does he do? What does he love? What are his passions? What makes him tick? You know, I guess I'll start with his career. So for anyone who doesn't know what Nick does for a living, Nick spends hours and hours on end a day sitting in a dark room watching live video feed of strangers getting in the shower. A few people looking a bit concerned. He's the editor of Big Brother, in case you didn't get that. It's particularly impressive when you've got people like Mark who would actually pay to do that. But obviously TV and film are a big part of his life, and you know, obviously a big passion in Nick's life. But it's not his greatest love. It's not his greatest passion. The one thing that Nick loves to do more than anything else in the world is waste money. He loves it. He can't get enough. Exhibit. He can't get enough of it. Absolutely loves wasting money on absolutely ridiculous stuff that no one in their right mind has any need for. I mean, obviously, the DeLorean being a classic example, that's awesome, so I'm going to let that slide. But I'm talking about movie memorabilia, props, screen-used items, you know, scale models. He's got an actual working Iron Man helmet that fits over his head and lights up and moves and all this stuff. And he's got not one, not two, but 3 pairs of light-up Back to the Future trainers that are limited edition and cost God knows how much. You know, he's got the screen-used cap from Back to the Future, all sorts of models. It's literally like somebody gave a credit card to a drunk 10-year-old. Funnily enough, in keeping with Nick's love of 1980s movie memorabilia, some of you, the more astute of you, may have noticed, Nick is actually today wearing one of his movie props, the suit. The suit he has on is the suit as worn from the 1988 movie Twins. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. The jacket, of course, being Arnold's, the trousers are Danny DeVito's. So, aside from wasting money, another one of Nick's great passions is cars, of course, which goes hand in hand with his love of wasting money, so it's pretty well suited. So on top of the DeLorean, of course, Nick's pride and joy is his Audi S3, which he spent years and thousands of pounds assembling into the loudest, fastest, most obnoxious hatchback in the whole country. But not content with these 2 cars, a few years ago, just after Nick turned 30, I got to witness a rare phenomenon and see what happens when midlife crisis comes head-on with short man syndrome. And the answer was, I went with Nick to test drive the new car, which was the Nissan GTR. Now, for anyone who doesn't really know much about cars, like myself, the Nissan GTR is an absolute beast of a car. I mean, this is a supercar by any standards. It's an absolute racing machine, you know, 500 plus brake horsepower. It goes from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, which is actually exactly how long it took Nick to get engaged. I mean, like I said, I don't know much about cars. I don't know much about GTRs. I don't know how many there are in the country, but I'm pretty sure that Nick's was the only one that had to be squeezed onto the driveway of his parents' house. But anyway, the weirdest thing is, the strangest thing is Nick ended up getting a garage to house this car because it wouldn't fit on the drive. And the whole time he had it, apparently he's now sold it. Presumably so they could try and buy Michael J. Fox or something like that. I don't know. No one ever saw him drive it. Nick insists that he actually took it for a few spins. But I can only imagine that was at 6 o'clock in the morning when he was driving to the gym for his secret leg sessions that he tells everyone he does. But who knows? So look, I've been a bit hard on Nick today, and obviously I'm giving him a hard time as is kind of my function here. But to be honest, I've got to say a few nice things because. You know, I don't think anyone else said enough nice things. But no, in all honesty, you know, Nick actually has so much going for him. It's kind of a bit annoying, really. I mean, he really is quite a remarkable guy. And I sometimes think, I had this vision in my head, this idea of some higher power somewhere just coming up with the idea to create Nick. And they're sitting in a boardroom, and you know, the guy in charge is drunk, obviously, and he's just like, right, okay, guys, I've got this idea. We're gonna make this man now. Okay, I've got this idea. Okay, everyone take notes, right? Okay, so we're going to make him really good looking, like movie star good looks, just perfect teeth, perfect hair, tan skin, good beard, all that stuff. Yeah, good, right, write that down. Okay, and you just make him really ripped and massively built as well. That'll go down well, yeah, brilliant, okay, we'll go with that, okay, this is cool. Anything else? Yeah, he's obviously going to be a bit of a, a douchebag, no, make him be the nicest guy you've ever met. Okay, they'll all start to look at each other. Yeah, okay, fine, right, we'll write that down. And he's going to be ridiculously talented. He's going to be really good at everything he ever does. Driving, art, computer games, editing, drums, music. He's just going to be an absolute wizard. And they're all starting to think, hang on a second, what's going on here? Are you serious about this? Is this fair? And he's like, right, good, okay, we're done with that one next. And suddenly someone butts in and says, hang on a second, this isn't fair. This guy just got too much going for him. What the hell, we can't just roll this out to the public like this. And the guy in charge just stops and he's like, yeah, that's what you're saying, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna, all of that, everything I just said, but a midget version. And that's how Nick was created. So, that's why I think I was wondering why Nick's 5'5", is because if he was 6'2", it simply would be unfair on the rest of mankind. But no, seriously. I mean, I know you're probably wondering where I was going with that for a large part of it, but seriously, a lot of that stuff is true. In all honesty, Nick, we've been friends for a long time. You've been there for me through some tough times. I've had a lot of ups and downs, and you've always been a really good friend to me. Nikki, it's been absolutely lovely getting to know you in the 3 weeks since you came into our lives. But seriously, you guys are a great couple, and I wish you guys the absolute best of happiness in your lives together. And if I could raise a glass, this is my glass, I think it's my glass. To Mr. and Mrs. Nicky Mabs. It's all from me.